Okay, let's unpack this. We're doing a deep dive into some serious audio gear today.
We are.
Specifically, we're looking at the DBX560A compressor limiter. Now, this is a 500 series module, and you hear it called a workhorse all the time.
It really is. And to really get the 560A, you have to look at its family tree. This isn't just some new device.
It's got history.
It has a serious legacy. We're talking about that legendary VCA-based compression. VCA is, voltage-controlled amplifier. It's a technology that goes right back to the original DBX900 series.
And it has the same compression curves as the famous 160A rack mount unit.
Exactly the same. That's why it has that sound. It's super fast, it's clean, and it gives you that classic punch on drums and really tight control on a bass guitar.
So that history really translates into how flexible it is today. You've got these wide-ranging controls for threshold, ratio, output. I mean, it seems like it can do everything from just gently smoothing things out to full-on brick wall limiting. How did the different modes actually help you do that?
Well, you basically get two choices. It's about musicality versus pure protection. The first one is called OverEasy.
OverEasy, I like that.
Yeah, think of it like a smooth velvet hammer. You'd use it with a low ratio to just gently rein in a vocal that's a bit dynamic, or an acoustic guitar. It avoids that, that obvious pumping sound you get from cheaper units.
Okay, so that's the gentle approach. What about the other end of the spectrum? When you need that absolute unforgiving protection.
That's when you flip the switch to hard knee.
Hard knee.
Yeah, and you crank up the ratio.
Yeah.
Then it becomes like bomb-proof. This is absolutely critical for digital recording or for broadcast, where you just cannot have peaks go over 0. Hard knee slams the door shut instantly.
But wait, if it's slamming a door shut, doesn't that risk sounding really unnatural or, jarring? How does it know when to kick in so cleanly?
That's the genius of its detection circuit. It uses true RMS level detection.
Okay, what does that mean?
So a lot of simpler compressors just look at the peaks, which isn't really how we hear. True RMS, that's root mean square. It measures the average power of the signal over time. It's much closer to how the human ear perceives loudness.
So it hears the sound more like we do.
Exactly. And because of that, the dynamic changes it makes just sound. Well, they sound right. They sound natural.
This is where things get really interesting for me, though. The infinity plus inverse compression mode. This feels like the 560A's secret weapon.
It totally is. It's a bit counterintuitive because it works with negative ratios.
Negative ratios.
So a normal compressor is like a hand pushing the volume down after a signal gets too loud, right?
Right.
Infinity plus is a different animal. When the input signal goes over the threshold you've set, the output level actually decreases below unity gain.
Hang on, so instead of just capping the volume, it actively starts turning it down. The louder the input gets.
Precisely. It's like a ghost engineer pulling the fader back for you. It's an absolute lifesaver for, say, a huge vocal chorus that suddenly leaps out of the mix, or for taming those runaway synth parts that can overload everything.
Wow, okay. That explains the massive ratio range then, from 1.1 all the way past infinity to minus 1.1?
That's the one.
And with that kind of power, you really need to see what you're doing. The metering looks pretty thorough.
Oh, it's excellent. You get a 19-segment LED for your input and output levels, and then a totally separate 12-segment meter just for gain reduction. There's no guesswork. You see exactly what's happening.
And it's not just precise, it's fast, too.
Incredibly fast. It's got what we call program-dependent attack and release. That means it adapts to the music. We're talking an attack time of like 5 milliseconds for a huge 20 decibel change. That speed is what keeps it sounding musical and not like a machine.
So when you boil it all down, what this really means for you, the person listening, is that the DBX560A is the definition of professional sonic control. It gives you punch, it gives you presence on your most important tracks, and at the same time, it's this ironclad shield protecting your whole system from nasty distortion.
Yeah, you got it.
Okay.
We've basically just explored the ultimate tool for getting a perfectly balanced professional audio level. But that brings up a question.
Go on.
If precise control is the key to that clean, professional sound, what happens when producers deliberately throw that away, when they abuse these controls or just ignore the brick wall limiter entirely to get a sound that's way hotter, more distorted, maybe more unpredictable?
What kind of creative risks are they taking when they decide to just tear down the very wall the 560A was built to create?
Exactly. Something to think about the next time you hear a track that sounds almost too loud.